I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I mean, to me, that's part of growing up and getting to understand yourself and your own foibles, is that you can start to see other people pretty clearly. Because people confuse me. I know they're lying or they're trying to manipulate me. That's the great benefit of having some clarity on yourself and what makes yourself tick. Is that when other people confuse you, it's because they're lying to you, or they're trying to manipulate you, they're trying to handle you, they're trying to bargain you, they're trying to get some kind of advantage, they're running a con on you, they're trying to put you one down. And who needs that, right? People confuse me. I know they're toxic. I know I don't want them in my life. I just can't be bothered to try to figure out other people's stuff. I don't need to. Usually simply distance myself. And that's the great benefit of doing the work, to come to terms. So anyone you don't want to face, that's probably someone you owe an amends to. Okay, anyone you've got a resentment against, in all likelihood that's someone you owe an amends to. Because you don't build up a resentment just by being a 100% innocent party. Almost always you have some kind of massive resentment. It's because your hands are not clean. But when you come to terms with the things that you've done to other people, the role that you've played in causing other people to causing other people to resent. Okay, so that guy there's a lot of resentment at me right now. So I had the inside lane. And what's my role? I'm not sure. Fighting my way through Los Angeles traffic. But I'll give you some examples from my life. I was with various porn stars, and I think almost everyone said, "I love your cock," or the equivalent. And so I could have gotten a swollen head about that. It's like, oh wow, there's something special about my member. Like, I am the man, because all these porn stars said, "I love your cock. It's the perfect size. Oh, I love feeling you inside of me right now." I mean, they really knew how to talk to me. And so I could come out of that and think, I'm the world's greatest lover. But that would be removed from reality. I don't think I've ever had a civilian woman tell me, "I love your cock." Okay, it's not how a normal woman speaks. So you can get like all sorts of distorted views of yourself if you're with people who have a strong incentive to tell you the things that you want to hear. So I remember when I had an influential blog on this industry or that industry, and people would be really nice to me because I had a widely read blog. But it was only because I had a widely read, fairly influential blog. And as soon as the blog's power diminished, then of course people stopped paying attention and stopped being extra nice. So it's easy to get this distorted view of yourself. And when you get a distorted view of yourself, you become really easy to manipulate. For example, I've I've been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, and there's nobody easier to manipulate than the narcissist. You just tell him, I love your cock, okay? And he'll follow you anywhere. Okay, the narcissist is so easy to manipulate. You just give the narcissist a little bit of attention, and they're yours. And you just tell him, wow, that blog post you wrote, that was special. I haven't seen anyone do anything like that before. Yeah, a lot of people tell me equivalent of that. And then I immediately go, yeah, I am special. I am great. I am amazing. I am extraordinary. I am unique. There's no one like me. And so I'd swing to the arrogant side of my personality. And when you're arrogant, you don't treat other people with consideration and care. So narcissists, easy to manipulate. You just give them some attention and tell them that they're special. Okay? Because lying is a consensual act. Like, you're not going to get rooked in business. You're not going to get screwed in business by and large if you're honest. It's only if you're seeking some kind of dishonest advantage that you're going to be wide open to some guy running a con on you. Because you're looking to run a con on everyone else, getting an unfair advantage, and that just leaves you to other people who are even better at the con taking advantage of you. You thought you were taking advantage of them, but they're taking advantage of you. And that's how it goes throughout life. If you're trying to take advantage of other people, you're going to develop this suspicious kind of chip on your shoulder, cynical attitude towards others. And then more sophisticated players of manipulative games are going to take advantage of you. And I'm saying this because a lot of people on my streams feel confused by me, feel confused by other people on the stream. They feel like they're being gaslit. And why is it I never feel like I'm being gaslit by anyone? Why is it nobody on my streams confuses me? I'm not confused by Rev or Manic or Political Chick or even Michael Grace or Brundlefly or any of the regulars on my stream. None of them, Northern, none of them confuse me. I think I understand where they're coming from. Anyone who would confuse me, I'd know was some very sick person, that they were running some sort of manipulation or lie, and I'd know to keep my distance. So I don't bring anyone on my stream who makes me unhappy. If they make me unhappy, then I just let them go. I don't need those people commenting on my stream. I don't need those people in my hangout. Just, who needs it? So all the people that I have on my shows, I get on great with. Glib, Analytical Chick, Babs. I just feel completely comfortable with them. I feel like I understand where they're coming from. So nobody on my shows confuses me. And nobody in my real life confuses me either, that I'm aware of. And if I get confused, that's a warning sign. If you know yourself, okay, if you come to terms with your own character defects, you have some recovery from your emotional addictions, other people aren't going to confuse you. And when they do, it's a big, massive warning sign. Like the nasty comments, don't make me unhappy. The brutal feedback doesn't make me unhappy, because I have a sense of myself and my role in the universe. It's not that huge, okay? I have a role, I have some gifts, I'm good at interviewing people, I'm reasonably good at boiling down some complicated topics and putting them into simple language, and that's who I am. I'm not an expert on framing like Frame Games Radio. I'm not super knowledgeable in Talmud like Duvid. I'm not always coming up with these interesting takes on things like Richard Spencer. I'm not a philosopher like Greg Johnson, but I can do a good interview. So when you have like an accurate perception of yourself, you're much less likely to be taken advantage of. Because what are ways that people have taken advantage of me is they'd say, "Oh, you're so special, you're so amazing," and I would get, those words would intoxicate me. I'd feel drunk by their feedback, and so I would lose good judgment, and I'd feel that this type of feedback entitled me to treat other people casually and carelessly, and to be selfish and self-seeking because I was so special. So I was able to start to let go of my need to always be the center of attention, to be the bride at every wedding, to be the corpse at every funeral. Suddenly my life became a lot calmer, became a lot easier, and I didn't need to be the center of attention. And I was able to let go of always trying to manipulate people to give me what I needed. Then just the tension level between me and other people, it just reduced. And my sense of desperation kind of went away with it. So I'd say step 4 was the turning point in this process. So I started writing down every person, every institution that I had resentment against. And for example, I had resentment against these different synagogues that had asked me to leave. And I thought about those people who told me, "Oh, you did nothing wrong, the fault was all with them, they were censorious, they were unfair, they treated you badly just because you were a convert or a would-be convert." And of course that was very appealing when people said things like that to me. So when I had a weak sense of self and wasn't prepared to really look at myself and the effect that my choices have had on other people, then I'd be really dependent upon that feedback that said that I was in the right and that other parties were entirely in the wrong. And of course that was absurd. I was writing material that was simply not appropriate for belonging to an Orthodox synagogue. I was living a life that was not appropriate for belonging to an Orthodox synagogue. So I had violated the norms, and I had essentially removed myself from the Orthodox community that I supposedly wanted to belong to. But of course, it was a lot easier for me to blame the rabbi, blame the community, blame Jews for my own exclusion that I had created. So it was very painful coming to terms with I had created my own exclusion. I had made myself unwelcome. Things I'd done, things I'd said that removed me from holy community. That was painful. But once I came to accept that, then I was living in reality. And when I live in reality, I find that people confuse me less, and that I'm more at peace with myself, with others, with God. And I can see clearly now. So every single relationship I had where I had a lot of resentment, first of all, I wrote down what my resentment was. Then I wrote down what the other party had done. They fired me, Had they rejected my romantic overtures? Had they rejected my visceral overtures? Had they rejected my attempts to put myself first, to be the center of attention? Had they rejected me from their friendship or from their community, from their synagogue, from the cool kids group? Had a whole string of rejections that I had to come to terms with. My therapist for many years said that if I were to write an autobiography, I should call it The Uninvited. I remember in second grade, Gavin Brown was having a birthday party, and he purposefully did not invite me because he and the other kids did not like me. And only when my best friend Wayne Cherry's mother intervened and basically forced them to allow me to come along to the birthday party, was I allowed to go. And then when I went, and we were riding our push bikes through the bush, Currumbong, Australia, like, the other kids made sure to let me know that they didn't want me along. They didn't want me along. So I don't know anything about Gavin Brown Enterprise in New York City. This is Gavin Brown in Avondale College, Australia. And why didn't they want me along? Because I was a bit of a jerk. I would use my brain and my abilities with words to make fun of people. And so, unsurprisingly, they didn't want to hang out with me. Yeah, that is the Ark of the Covenant in the back seat. So please keep this on the down low. Yeah, if I write another book, I should call it Stay in Your Lane. Yeah, that'll be my self-help book, Stay in Your Lane. And that wasn't the only instance of a group of kids or group of adults or any group. They just didn't want me around. And so for many years, my major reaction to that was there was something wrong with them.